Today we are doing Lesson 7 ratio tables. Okay, so equivalent ratios are ratios that simplify to the same ratio. Okay, this is the same as an equivalent fraction. There are two steps to finding equivalent ratios. Step 1, you start each proportion with the full ratio given in the table. Okay, so again, we're going to be using proportions to solve, which you should all be experts at. Step 2, find the second ratio with one of the unknown ratios and solve. So we're going to be setting up proportions and solving for unknown values just like we've been doing. Okay? So example 1, Miss Krippinger can type 390 words in 5 minutes. Complete the table with equivalent ratios. Okay? So we know that in 5 minutes, Miss Krippinger can type 390 words. So this is our initial ratio that's given to us. Okay? So we're going to fill in our units. So for all of these, we have minutes and we have words. Okay, minutes is at the top, words at the bottom, so we can just do it in that same order. Our initial ratio for all three of these is 5 to 390. Okay, that's the initial ratio we're given. We know in 5 minutes Miss Krippinger can type 390 words. Okay, now we need to figure out what these blanks are. Okay, so since they're blank, they're unknown. Okay, so that's where our variable is going to come in. Okay, so I'm going to start with column 1. I am not sure how many minutes it takes Miss Krippinger to type 624 words. Okay, so now I have my proportion set up. And you guys are all experts at solving proportions. I'm going to highlight. And I'm going to multiply my numbers that are across from each other. So I have 5 and 624, which equals 3,120. And then I'm going to divide by my number across from the variable, which is 390. And my answer comes out to 8. Okay, so I'm going to fill in 8 into my ratio table. Okay, so in 8 minutes, Ms. Krippinger can type 624 words. Okay, for column 2, I have 9 and an unknown for words. So 9 minutes, I'm going to fill that in on the top for minutes, and the number of words is unknown. So I'm not sure how many words Ms. Krippinger can type in 9 minutes. I'm going to solve the proportion. So I'm going to multiply the numbers across from each other. 9 times 390, which equals 3,510. Then I'm going to divide by my number across from the variable, which is 5. My answer is 702. So in 9 minutes, Ms. Krippinger can type 702 words. Okay? I started with my initial ratio in column 3, so I'm going to move on to column 4. The number of minutes is unknown. I have a blank there. The number of words is 234. Okay, so I'm going to highlight. I'm going to multiply my numbers that are diagonal from each other. So I have 5 times 234, which equals 1,170. I'm going to divide by 390, which is across from my variable, and x equals 3. Okay, so in 3 minutes, Ms. Krippinger can type 234 words. Okay, oops, sorry, some of that was out of the screen. So you can see this is the same process over and over again that we've been doing with setting up proportions. All of these ratios are equivalent to each other. Okay, example 2. The flash can run 20 meters in 4 seconds. Complete the table with equivalent ratios. Okay, so this time we're asking you to kind of set up the proportions on your own. We've given you a lot of support with that for the past 6 lessons, so now it's your turn to try it. Okay, so the flash can run 20 meters in 4 seconds. So here's my initial ratio. I know that I'm dealing with the units seconds and meters. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just set up all 3 of these at the same time. Okay, so I have seconds and I have meters. okay, my initial ratio is 4 seconds to 20 meters. So 4 seconds, 20 meters, okay? I'm going to set that up for all three. 4 seconds, 20 meters, 4 seconds, 20 meters, okay? So now that I have that set up, I am going to look at my different columns, okay? So for my first column, I know I have 1 second. I'm trying to figure out how far the flash can run in that 1 second, okay? So same thing. I'm going to solve my proportion. So I have 20 times 1 equals 20, and then I'm going to divide by 4. So x equals 5. So the flash can run 5 meters in 1 second. Okay? For my second column, I'm not sure how many seconds. That's what I'm trying to solve for. 34 meters. So how many seconds would it take the flash to run 34 meters? Okay? So I find my numbers across from each other. 4 times 34. And that equals 136. Then I'm going to divide by 20. X equals 6.8. Okay, so 6.8 seconds to run 34 meters. Third column, I don't know how many seconds. I'm solving for seconds again. And I have 62 meters. So how many seconds would it take the flash to run 62 meters? Okay, so 4 times 62 equals 248. I'm going to divide by 20 because it's across from my variable. And x equals 12.4. So it takes 12.4 seconds for the flash to run 62 meters. Okay, now my table's filled in with all of the equivalent ratios. Example 3. It cost $21 for 3 t-shirts. Complete the table with equivalent ratios. Okay, same thing. My table is going vertical instead of horizontal this time. Same process. Okay, so my units are t-shirts and cost or price. So I'm going to put a T and I'm going to put a dollar sign for all of these because those are my 2 units. My initial ratio is 3 t-shirts for $21. Okay, so I'm going to do that right away. Okay, so now I'm set up to solve for each of these missing values. Okay, so for this first row, I know I have 2 t-shirts and I want to know how much those are going to cost. Okay, so I am going to do 21 times 2, which equals 42. And then I am going to divide that by 3. So x equals 14. So it cost me $14 for 2 t-shirts. Okay, for this second row here, I'm not sure how many t-shirts. That's my unknown. And I have $168. So how many t-shirts could I buy for $168? Okay, so my numbers across from each other are 3 and 168. So I'm going to do 3 times 168, which equals 504. I'm going to divide by 21. So my unknown, my x, equals 24. Okay, so I can buy 24 t-shirts for $168. Last one to fill in here. If I wanted to buy 7 t-shirts, how much would it cost me? Okay, highlight, multiply 21 times 7, which equals 147. And then I'm going to divide by 3, and x equals 49. Okay, so it would cost me $49 if I wanted to buy 7 t-shirts. right? So for your you try, it says the table shows the total money Anne saves each week. Complete the table with equivalent ratios. Good luck and get it checked when you're done.